welcome to A Does Stuff. I'm finally starting off the DIY portion of my channel, and I thought I would start with something that's actually been bugging me for a while, and that is my really boring lampshade that I got for my lamp when I first moved into my apartment. I basically just needed a lampshade, so I got this really basic, boring white one from down at Target, and I just haven't really had time to do anything to it. So actually what I'm going to do with this lampshade is I am going to paint it with a galaxy sort of design, and then I'm going to add some tassels. So I'm hoping it's going to look really cute. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm going to do this. I'm working with this basically as though it were canvas because that's just what seems easiest to me. I'm using acrylic paints. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to just start off by, I made this dark blue shade just by mixing some blue and black, and I'm just going to paint it on as my base layer, and this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm starting off here, and what I'm going to do is, rather than make you watch me paint this solid for Lord knows how long, I'm going to very quickly just jump cut ahead to when this has the base coat on. Okay, as you can see, I've done a layer of the black and blue. I did it kind of messy because first off, this is the base coat. If you do cakes, it's kind of like doing the crumb coat. You know, it's not as important to get the base layer of a painting of this kind of style. Like, this is for home decor. This is not supposed to be fine art, so it's okay to kind of have a messy base layer, and I actually think it looks better this way. So and I'm not the neatest painter in the world, just so you know, but now I have basically freedom to do whatever I want. Now, I have various sized and shaped brushes. These are more used for watercolors, but I like getting fine detailing in, so I have these. But for my whiter washes, I have a wash brush, and I'm gonna actually bring in, while I still have the blue-black on my brush, I'm actually going to bring in a bit of purple, because I don't necessarily want to blend, but I want that kind of ethereal galaxy look. Although I'm noticing already that the purple's a little bit lighter, or a little bit darker than I probably want it to be. So I'm just going to take in a little bit of white, and then blend it with my purple to try and get more vibrancy in there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there we go. I'm going for a slightly more abstract-y look. So I haven't perfectly blended the purple, for instance. I'm just gonna kind of blend this in. When I use these, it's going to be for the star portion, but I'm taking in this purple because, and I don't want to coat the whole thing in the purple, I just want to get a nice sort of accent and blend it in. Yeah, it's actually looking more like storm clouds at the moment, but I still have other colors and accents to kind of bring in. Yeah, I'm just kind of going freely however I kind of feel like doing this. I'm gonna do it. And I'm actually going to use the fact that this is kind of messy to kind of, on this back end, to kind of guide where I'm going to put the purple. Because I want a lot of purple, but I also don't want it to dominate. I'm going to bring in a bit of a lighter purple. I'm going to be careful to kind of, first I'm kind of dabbling, and then I'm going to, as I go back around, I've done paintings of like the Aurora Borealis before, so this type of painting is what kind of makes me happy, to just kind of sit here and blend in and kind of see where the paint takes me. This is a bit more artistic, I guess, of a DIY, but notice, like, this is not super structural. This is not hard. If you're a beginning painter, these type of subjects are also really easy. If you mess up, it's okay. I'm actually going to bring in a little bit of this rose color. Notice once again, I'm not washing the brush in between because I want to blend as I'm putting it on the painting. So this I'm being even more delicate with than I was with the light purple, because I only want little accents. I know galaxy stuff is like really hot right now and everybody's into making it, but I also think that the images that we capture of the galaxy are just so beautiful and so enthralling to look at. Now I want to bring in a little bit of green, I think. Now I've got some yellow and some white with some purple mixed into the white from when but I just want to take a little bit of yellow. The brush that I'm using here is like way too big for me to do stars with. Even though it's actually a fairly small brush. This is a round brush, so small round brush. So yeah, I'm gonna use the one round. I'm just gonna dip it. I'm actually gonna do something a little bit different. I'm taking the end of the paintbrush because it's a little bit more steady for me to create dots. There we go. I'm starting to get the effect I want. Now, if I wanted to, I could do constellations. I could have also omitted the stars. They weren't necessary, but to me, it felt like I needed them. This is such a forgiving project because you can just kind of blend things in, since you've got such a dark base layer. Now I've got kind of my night sky galaxy-ish looking thing. Like, I didn't go too hard on the galaxy look because you'll see when I add the tassels. But I've got to let this dry before I start applying hot glue, and I'm also gonna pre-make most of the tassels. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I'm back. It's now dry. I've made some of the tassels, but I'm gonna show you how to make a tassel. It's actually really easy. I have some really cool yarn that I got at Michael's, so I'm just going to, I take the end to right about here, and I just do 4 fingers length. There we go. And then I just kind of wrap around my fingers until I've got enough. I haven't counted how many times I've gone around. I just kind of feel it out for whatever feels right. I kind of look at it, and if it looks like it's probably thick enough or has enough ends, then that's when I go, okay. And I'd say right about here is where it's best. I do a snip, and then I cut, I think it's about 2 to 3 inches from here. So I take that, I then take the loop I just made, and then I tie off the top. Okay. It's a bit hard to try and get it onto camera because I'm not having it right in front of my face. Okay, so just a simple knot does the trick, and then voila. And then you just take your loop, take your scissors, and just snip. And there you go. You've got a tassel. I've got a tassel. It's got a very Urban Outfitters-y look. Okay, now I've got my handy dandy glue gun, and I am just going to take my tassels. Boom. This is actually thick enough where I can hold it in place for a few seconds, and then I'm just gonna do a line of glue right over there. Just kind of hold it in place because it is a bit thicker. Okay, so now I'm just waiting for the hot glue to dry, and when everything's dry, I'm gonna put it back on my lamp and we'll see how it looks. If you liked this, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section below if you liked this.